What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Welcome back, Aria Decoded family. Welcome to all of our newbies. If this is your first time joining us, I am Ashley Denmark.
We look a little distorted.
I am Ashley Denmark. That's the wrong one.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
Yeah, I am Ashley Denmark. Who are you?
my name is Antonio Denmark.
Antonio, welcome, Antonio. We are super excited to have you guys join us. Today, we are going to be talking about credit. We're going to be talking about how to boost credit. What does it look like? And credit has been the forefront when it comes to real estate, when it comes to investing, and knowing how to maneuver, how to sustain, and how to make it work. You can ready to say something?
I am, but I was trying to let you talk.
For those of you, if this is your first time watching, not your first time, if you are watching us live, I want you to put hashtag live in the chat so we know that you're watching us live. And for those of you that are watching on replay, make sure you put hashtag replay in the chat. We want to make sure that we're here to answer your questions. We want to make sure we're here to guide you. All right. Anything else?
If I told you I forgot what I was going to say,
that's all right. So look, me and Antonio have been investing in real estate since 2009, and we are ready to share with you today some of our challenges from when we first got started.
I remember now.
From when we first got started and how we've been able to overcome them, but help hundreds of people overcome them as well. All right.
So what I was going to say is understand that you do not need credit to do real estate.
Absolutely.
But if you do have credit, it puts you in the fast lane. All right.
Yeah.
So just think if you riding on the highway and you ain't got no credit, you just in a regular lane. But if you can put some credit with this knowledge, you can go all the way to the left and get in that fast lane. All right. So understand, can you do real estate without credit? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go fast, put some credit with some knowledge and get in that fast lane, you'll be gone.
And sky's the limit. Absolutely.
Come on, bro, you messing up stuff.
I am, because I wanted to make sure we turn down these notifications going on our phone because I heard them beeping, and it could have been the computer, but I'm gonna delete them. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to the group. Welcome to today's training. Things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what is credit and how it works. We're going to talk about what a good credit report looks like. And we are going to talk about how to understand that credit report. All right. Those are three of the things we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about building credit from scratch. So if you have absolutely no credit at all, we're going to show you how to build it up. If you have high utilization, we're going to show you how to counteract that. And if you have very little credit history, we are going to show you how to make your credit profile look amazing. All right. You ready to jump in?
I'm ready. This looks like brain power. That looks
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Really good.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So what is credit? Basically, in a nutshell, credit is the ability for you to show whether you can pay something back. All right. That's what credit is. So creditors want to know that they can trust you, that they can loan you some money, and then they can trust that you're going to pay them back. All right. That's what credit is. It is what?
Man, you touching on me, bro. You got a lot of trust.
You like it. You like it. No, but for real, credit is if I am trusting Antonio, I'm gonna let Antonio borrow some money from me in hopes and trust that he is gonna pay me back. All right. That's what credit is. Just in a nutshell. Okay.
With that in mind, understand that if you have not got any credit and you have not demonstrated that you have the ability to be trustworthy, then you can't have a good credit score.
Yeah.
All right.
It's only so high.
Keep that in mind. Like the more you show that you're able to pay to different people, the better your score will be.
Mm-hmm.
Layman terms. Hey, what does layman terms mean anyway?
Okay, so focus. All right, so just starting off, listen, because I'm glad you said that. All right, and when you said that, it made me go to this. Your credit score can range between 300 and 850 points. All right, that's what your score can range from. 300 to 850.
What
all
you
right?
got to get a 300 credit score?
Probably nothing. Probably absolutely nothing.
300.
But that's the lowest. All right. So I've personally never seen a 300 credit score. The lowest I've probably seen was probably a 430.
450 about the lowest I see.
Yeah. But I've never seen a 300. And I don't want to see what a 300 looks like in total transparency. But if there is a 300, let me just say that credit is a numbers game. It's a process. And when you learn these steps that we're going to teach you today, if you have a 300, if you know somebody with a 300, you should be able to get them up in little to no time. All right.
All right. With that being said, I'm going to say two things.
Okay.
All right. The things that we teach are things that can drastically adjust your credit report. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But understand at the same time, if you 40 years old and you've been messing up your credit for 30 years, 20 years, you can't expect it to be fixed overnight.
Yeah.
It don't happen like that.
It's a process. It's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
So understand, the first thing that we want y'all to do is understand the rules to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even understand the rules to the credit game. That's why you can't beat it, because you don't understand the rules.
And that is so important because we are this microwave society. We want to get everything overnight because it feels good, but some things take time. All right, some things are gonna absolutely take time. And guess what? You had time to mess it up. Have a little patience to get it fixed.
That's all we ask.
Yeah, have a little patience to get it fixed. Well, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. Okay. All right. So credit scores can range from 300 to 850. There are three bureaus. Three
main bureaus.
Yes, three main bureaus that report your credit. All right. There's Equifax, there's Experian, and there's TransUnion. All right. Those are the three. And with those credit bureaus, those numbers are comprised of 5 major factors. All right. And we're going to jump into these 5 major factors and break them down. All right. Let me say this. If you feel like you have a friend that needs to be a part of this training, make sure you go and tag them and invite them into the group so that they can watch this, because this can change their life. This can change their kids' lives when it comes to understanding how to work this game. All right. You ready, Tanya?
I'm waiting on you. I feel like I'm doing a whole lot of other stuff there.
You think so? Let's talk about it. All right. So your credit breakdown. The majority of your credit report is based off of your payment history. All right. 35% of your score is based off of your payment history.
What's up, John? What's up, Tamika?
Hey, y'all. And when I say based on your credit history, when I told you at the beginning is I'm trusting Antonio to pay me back, that's your payment history. All right. If Antonio doesn't pay me back on time, then that is going to drop that 35% of his credit score. All right.
Say your husband, you touch him again.
Tell him. All right. The next big chunk of the pie is how much you owe on your revolving accounts. All right. That is your utilization amount owed. That's worth 30% of your credit score. All right.
To dive into that a little deeper, when we say revolving, we are not talking about student loans. We're not talking about your house loans. We're not talking about your car loans. We are talking about credit cards or things of that nature to where you can pay those things down or you can pay them off and get access to that credit. So if I have a $10,000 credit card limit, I got a $5,000 balance. If I can pay $5,000 to get my balance down to zero, and that increases my overall amount that I can pull to $10,000, that's revolving. Mm-hmm. They want to make sure that you have the self-discipline to not use or not access all the funds that are available to you. All right. Student loans, car loans, they not worried about that because as much as you pay your car loan down, you can't really go back and say, let me borrow another X amount of dollars for it.
It's up with
It's
that.
a whole new loan.
Yeah.
But with credit cards, revolving accounts, if you pay those things down, then you can go back and get some more because it's available to you. So when we say revolving, that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. All right. So the next highest chunk, it's not that much, but it is a good chunk. That's the length of credit. That's your credit history. We like to call that your credit age. How long have you had credit? So let me say this. Most people get this confused. They feel like I got my first credit card. I'm sorry, I'm just touching all on you today.
Your husband is getting the note.
Listen, all right. They feel like because I got my first credit card 20 years ago, my credit age should be pretty good. But guess what? If you close that card and that 20-year-old card is no longer open and you only got the accounts that you had in the last 2 years, then your credit age is 2 or less and not the 20 that you've had credit. All right. Your credit age is based on the average of all of your credit. So revolving, installment, it's the average of all of them from the day they was open. All right. So if you got a lot of accounts, expect that age to be lower because it's the average.
So the other thing is when you get a new account, you get a new house, a new car, a new credit card, a new whatever type of loan that's going on your credit, understand that that's going to drop your score because the reason that drops your score is because you just lowered your length of credit history. So if you had a 5-6 year of history built up, but you went and just got a new car or a new car, now that history is down to 3 years. So that totally makes your credit report looks different. So a lot of times we close some of those credit cards that we've had in the beginning. Let's say it's an annual fee on it,
And we don't like
annual fees, but we've had that card since we was young. We'll go and close that card to save money on the annual fee. But just understand when you close that card, you're taking away a big chunk of your history.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So next is inquiries. Oh my goodness. This one right here is like the heavy topic is what we get. I don't want my credit score to go down because I have a lot of inquiries. Well, now you see it. Now you see it on the pie. You making that payment is more important than that inquiry, okay? Inquiries are only worth 10% of your credit score. All right.
And where that myth really comes from, in my opinion, is when you go and get a car, a lot of times you feel like because the car lot ran your credit a lot of times that's what dropped your credit score. But that's not true, okay?
That's not it, yeah.
The reason your credit score dropped for that new car is because you affected your credit history. All right. Inquiries are minimum points. I'm like minimum points, y'all. The only time inquiries really even become a huge factor is you got more than 10 on each bureau.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. TransUnion, they calculate their own increase. Experian calculates their own increase. Equifax calculate their own increase. So if you got 10 increase on each one, that's not, I got 30 increase. No, you have 10 increase per bureau. All right. So understand if you're getting up in that range, now you might start to really feel a hit when it comes to increase on your score. Right. But other than that, y'all, increase are very minimal. Do not make decisions based on increase. All right.
That's right. Hey, Joy. I see you, girl. I see you, Tamika.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So the last of the pie, the last 10% of the pie is your mixture of accounts, the types of credit that you have. All right. And I use that word mixture so you can understand it because people say types of credit and then it gets confusing. the mixture. So do I have some installments? Do I have some revolving accounts? Like, what are the different types of accounts that I have that helps my credit score? So if I only have revolving accounts, all right, then I'm missing 10% of the score because I only have one type of account. Banks, well, not banks, your credit score is better when you have a mixture of accounts. All right. It's saying I'm not just good with using my credit cards, but I'm also good with managing my loans, with my installments. All right.
So it's good to have a car loan, a house loan, student payments, a student loans, a personal loan, credit cards. Like all those things mixed together really builds up your credit profile to maximize what you got going on.
Absolutely. I just got a message from one of my friends. He said he see our ads so everywhere. All right. So we talked about the pie as a whole. Let's break it down. And I want y'all to ask y'all questions because I want to make sure you got it. I want to make sure that when you leave here, you know exactly. You can look at your credit report and say, what am I missing? How do I get to the next level so that I can build it up? And if I have a perfect score, then you also know at the extended end, and will tell you what you can do if you have a really good score. All right.
So also I want to say, we want you to make informed decisions, y'all. Like we don't have these type of conversations enough at the dinner table. We don't have these conversations enough at family reunions. Like we want you to make informed decisions about your credit. Do not run from your credit, y'all. Lean into your credit. All right, hear me and hear me well. It's so much easier to build your credit up and get $100,000 in credit versus trying to save $100,000. All right. So I'm gonna say it again. It's a whole lot easier to fix your credit, make informed decisions, and go get access to $100,000 in funding versus you're trying to save $100,000 to do whatever you want to do with the $100,000.
Right.
It's a whole lot easier. The quickest way to jumpstart what you're doing is by fixing your credit.
Absolutely. All right. So payment history. Payment history is record of on time, late missed payments. All right. Past and current. Missed payments, remember, it's 35% of your score. So whatever you got to do to make that payment, y'all try to make that payment. Don't let a $25 card, don't let a $25 payment drop your score 35 points. 35%, sorry, not 35 points. Don't let a $25 payment drop it. If you got to go borrow the $25, do it. And I use $25 because I see that so often. I see the $20 payments, the $25 payments where they're like, yeah, I just decided not to pay that. No, don't decide not to pay that because it's harder to come back 35% when it drops. All right. Because that's a big fall when it falls. Your increase at 10%, that's not a big fall. You got to get a whole lot of them for it to be a big fall. 35% from one missed payment can change your credit score overnight, drop you 75
to 100 points, depending on what other stuff you got going on.
Easily.
Let's say you don't have a lot of payment history and you go get a late payment, you do. But if you have been building your credit a long time and you get a late payment, it might not hurt as much. All right. So just look at this. If you only made 10 payments and you got a late payment, you're gonna take a big hit. But if you made 100 payments over time and you get a late payment, it might not be as big a hit. So, but this payment history, it is a big deal.
It's a big deal. You help me out?
If you need me.
I don't. All right, let's talk about usage. All right, usage is how much am I using? All right, creditors do not want they don't want to feel like you need the money. All right, and your credit score will show if you need the money. All right, so you want to keep it. You want it to look like you don't need the money. So if you got to have multiple cards because you need the money, you need to make it look like that. But you don't want to go over 30% on a particular card. And I'm talking about revolving when I say usage. I'm talking about revolving credit cards things like Antonio said, when you pay it off, you get access to it again. All right, that's what revolving means. It's like a revolving door. It swings one way and swings the other. At 31%, it's considered debt on your credit report. All right, under 30%, then it's considered credit. But you want it to report as credit, not debt.
All right, I want to dive into this a little deeper.
Okay.
Understand that if you have 29% usage and 9% usage, you're still going to see a big difference in your credit score. All right. It's just when you go over that 30, it takes a much bigger, steeper dip.
Yes.
All right. Does that make sense out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's so much easier to get credit when you don't need it. But what happens a lot of times is people wait until they get into a sticky situation. They started using their personal credit. Their utilization has went up. Now they try and go and get credit. And now you don't look good anymore. So it's always best to get the credit when you don't need the credit.
Because you never know when you're going to need it. True statement. You never know when you're going to need it. So get it. Make it good. Don't overuse it. All right. Age of account. This makes up 15% of your score. All right. So I think we pretty much talked about it, but make sure that you got some pretty lengthy age because it's 15% of your score. So you want to have some years. I say always at least 4 at minimum is what you want to always have on your credit report. Even if you went through credit repair and you wiped it off, you need to have some age on your credit report.
Just a note, if you struggle in these issues, stay to the end. We're going to give you all the things to fix these issues. Each one, I'm going to tell you how to overcome.
Mm-hmm. All right, types of accounts. That's your revolving, that's your installments, your open credit. You want to make sure that you got a variety. All right, not just all credit cards, not just all installments. You want a mixture of them.
All right. Inquiries. So understand there's a difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry.
Yes.
Hard inquiries are when you are directly applying for credit cards, loans, those type of things. Mm-hmm. Soft inquiries are when the banks or those people, they peek at your credit score to see if you're worthy. That does not affect your score. So if you're getting pre-approval letters in the mail, it's because they did a soft inquiry on your credit and sent you that pre-approval. Mm-hmm. It's not a hard inquiry. It does not affect your credit. The soft inquiries are when, and they don't see your full credit. They just get a snapshot of it to send you approvals a lot of times.
Yeah. When you are pulling your credit report from different sites like Experian, My Free Score, My FICO, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, all of those different accounts. All right. When you are pulling your credit report from them, those are soft inquiries. All right. You're pulling your credit report. You're getting a snapshot. You're getting a peek. Sometimes a full view, depending on which site you use, of your credit report, of your credit score. All right. That does not count as an inquiry.
And I want to reiterate that.
Okay.
Because we get that a lot. Mm-hmm. When you pull your credit, it's a soft inquiry. Mm-hmm. So don't say, I don't like checking my credit because I'm going to get an inquiry and it's going to drop my credit score.
It's not.
Man, that is so far from the truth, all right?
It's not.
It don't matter how many times you check your credit, it will not affect your credit score.
And then again, even if you get a hard inquiry, it's only 10% of your score. So it's not hurting your score. So let's just say you are a 700, that's your credit score, and you get an inquiry. You get a few inquiries because one inquiry is not going to move it.
3 to 5.
You get 3 to 5 inquiries, you're probably going to drop down 10, 15 points.
If that.
All right, depending on how strong your other areas are. So don't be afraid of inquiries. Be afraid of missing that payment. All right.
Be afraid of high utilization.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about what a good credit report looks like. All right. Everybody doesn't have this, and that's fine. But this is so you know what you're aiming for. All right. Payment history. You want to make sure it's at 100% or as close to 100 as possible. All right. Utilization. Remember, I said don't get over 30%. If you can keep it as low as 6%, your credit report will be spot on.
In my experience, at 10%, you really don't even get an effect on your credit report. If you go over 10, then you start getting effect. So if you keep it anywhere between 0 and 10%, that's ideal.
Mm-hmm. Next is derogatory. You want to have no derogatory, all right? So that means collections, charge-offs, all of those things. Those are derogatory marks. You want to keep as few of those as possible, preferably none.
Let me make sure I say this.
Mm-hmm.
Charge-offs, collections, derogatories like bankruptcies, foreclosures, all those things go into that 35% pot that we talked about. They consider that a part of your payment history. So, yes, those, if you get a collection, it's a $5 collection. It's going to tear your credit up.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I got to say,
not just one way.
Before you go too far.
Okay.
A $5 collection and a $5,000 collection hit your credit report the same way.
Hard.
It does not matter.
Hard.
So don't think because the amount is little that it's going to not affect you that much.
Yeah, don't be stubborn and say, I'm just not going to pay them. I don't even care.
We're good for that.
I'm just not going to pay them because this is not right.
You got to remember your question because I got to say this. Go. You go.
You going to remember?
Probably not, but
just go.
The biggest thing I see is these cable companies. We don't like returning these boxes, and then they charge us, and we feisty because we're supposed to get charged, or we sent it back and they didn't get it, and we like, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. Man, pay them people.
Pay them. Pay them extra.
Even if you pay them again.
Pay them again.
Do not get no collection on your report over $100 damn.
I can't tell you how many times I paid the water company, and I swear it be for old properties. Like, but I got the last payment.
Pay them people and don't fight it later.
Fight it later.
Pay them to not get that collection on your report.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna forget to fight it anyway, so just pay them. All right. So what I forgot what I was gonna say. I tried really hard. Okay, we talked about derogatory. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. When it comes to collections and charge-offs, all right, you're getting hit whammy. All right, it's a double whammy. As you are missing those payments, your credit score is dropping. And then when it charges off, it's gonna drop again. All right. So
that was a good one, Ash.
It's hard to come back from that. It takes a minute to recover, especially on a fresh new charge-off. Now, once you've taken that plunge, it's not going to keep plunging unless you keep missing other payments on active accounts. All right. So once you take that hit and you go from that 725 to that 603,
you're on your way back up.
Now you're working on building. All right. At that point, you're working on building it back up. It's not going to drop from a 603 to a 550. The only way it drops again, and hear me clearly, is if you are continually to miss payments on other active accounts.
That was a good one.
All right. So that's what I was going to say. Credit age at 5 years, closer to 6, that's a spot on report. All right. It doesn't have to be 25 years. If it's 25 years, that's just extra. That's good. All right. That's just platinum. It has medium impact. All right.
So
medium.
Another reason we're going to talk about that credit age. Another reason that y'all grandmas be having them granddads be having them good credit scores is because they be having that good history.
They got
that good 20, 30-year history on their side.
Yes.
So it's not that they just been using their credit so good. They've been doing so wonderful.
They haven't been using it.
They might have had 1 or 2 cards from back in the day that they just kept opening, using them. Mm-hmm. They'll have a great credit score.
Yeah. Next is your accounts. All right. Your accounts, the total number of accounts on your credit report.
You say 17 in case you don't see it.
I couldn't see it. The total number of accounts on your credit report is what that is. So how many accounts do I have that's open? People ask me this all the time. Does my student loans count? Absolutely, they count as accounts that are open. And let me say why they count. Why they count as accounts that are open. And that was a tongue twister. But here's why. When you miss a payment, each account hits your credit score. All right. So if you went delinquent and you got 4 student loans, and all 4 of those student loans you said I can't pay this bill, and it's on your account, it's 4 different accounts, and you couldn't pay it, it's gonna be a major impact to your credit score. So it's a major positive, or it could be a major negative.
Facts.
It could be a major positive or major negative. All right. What's next, Antonia?
Hard inquiry. I think we done drug on that.
Yeah, they definitely understand. Y'all understand inquiries, right? Y'all no. Who's afraid of inquiries still? Let me know in the chat. If you're afraid of inquiries, say me. If you're not, say no. Say no. Let me know. Who's afraid of inquiries still?
Most people are afraid of inquiries.
Oh, okay.
I don't want any inquiries. It's
I
gonna hurt my credit.
can't get an inquiry. It's not gonna hurt.
I gotta get an inquiry for this loan. Listen, I had a person tell me they was gonna get $30,000 back on a refinance, but they was gonna get an inquiry. No, I don't want that inquiry, sir. No, that inquiry is gonna hurt my credit. You gonna let an inquiry stop you from getting $30,000?
No way, no how.
All right, let's go back.
But I think that's all about perspective. It's how we look at things, and it's our perceived value of it. All right, so credit booster. You want to tell them what a credit booster is, Sonia?
A credit booster is a line of credit that the borrower has held open in good standing for a long period of time, typically at least 2 years. All right. This information can be shared with you as a way to enhance your credit profile. All right. So that was a textbook answer for it. Now I'm going to give you that was Ashley's great answer. All right. So basically, there's different type of credit boosters. All right. There are ways that you can pay for credit boosters. And let's hypothetically say that, hey, I've had a credit card for 20 years. I haven't missed no payments. It's a $10,000 limit. I don't have a balance on it. We can actually take all of that credit history that I have on my card and give it to Ashley and put it on her report.
Give it to me.
So understand that credit boosters are real and they can change your credit profile. All right. There's also credit boosters to where, hey, you don't have a good mix of accounts. Maybe you just got all credit cards. You can then say, hey, I can get a, so make sure I say it right. On my credit, I can show that I have a personal loan, but I'm not really getting a personal loan. And I'm just going to make payments every month to build my credit. All right. You can report your rent. We're going to talk about it a little later. You can report your rent to help build your credit. All right. There's many different credit boosters. All right. The main thing I want you to understand about a credit booster is that you can't put sugar on crap.
Yeah.
So if you have some issues with your report, fix the issues first
and then
add the boosters. All right.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you can just be a couple tweaks away, depending on what your goal is, and you might can add some credit boosters. But if you got a whole lot of late payments, a whole lot of collections, don't add a credit booster. You clean that stuff up, then add the credit booster.
Mm-hmm. In the chat, you guys, tell me what is another name for credit boosters? What do you think is another name for credit boosters? Put it in the chat. What are those things? Well, I'm about to sneeze.
I do.
Excuse me. All right. So, how can credit boosters help? It can give you primary accounts if you don't have a lot of accounts. They can lower your utilization. They can give you history, which is age, if you don't have a lot of age. And then they can also give you a mixture of accounts. All right.
let me talk on the history.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that I just started building my credit profile.
Mhm.
I got one credit card and I just got it less than a year.
Okay.
I can get a credit booster
Mm-hmm.
from somebody that's had their card or they just whatever we do, different ways we do it, and they've had it for 20 years. I can get added to that credit booster. So now I get all of their history. So now instead of having a credit report that's 1 years of age, now they're gonna take that 20 years and that 1 year. Now I'm looking at about 10 years of age. That's a big difference. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Um.
As as we talking, if you know your issue, put it in the chat. All right. If you got a certain situation you want to talk about, put it in the chat. But let's identify what your issues are so we can address them.
Yeah. So whether it's age, whether it's history, whether it's utilization, whether it's inquiries, whether it's a mixture, put any of those 5 things in the chat and let us know what you feel like yours is. All right. Why do I need credit boosters? I need credit boosters if I am looking to potentially get business funding. I need credit boosters maybe if I'm looking to buy a house. If I need to build my score up to buy a house, I may need credit boosters if I'm buying real estate, buying franchises. For some, they may need credit boosters if they're trying to get like a fancy apartment, they want a high rise somewhere and they're trying to rent, or they're applying for an employer that requires them to have a certain credit score or a credit profile in order to literally get to the next level or in order to be employed. All right.
I want to talk to K Young. Quick question. When you say utilization, tell me where you are with your revolving credit. Is it, hey, I got $100,000 in available credit cards and I'm using 30,000 right now? Kind of tell me where you are so I can kind of give you the best solution. Because sometimes with credit boosters, they cost money, y'all. So that's not free unless you find the right person. But sometimes it might be easier to pay some credit down and then get a credit booster depending on how much you have. All right. The second thing I want to tell y'all is, if you listen to me and Ashley, y'all know that we love lease options. And if you talk to most real estate investors, they're gonna always tell you lease options don't work. People don't never buy. They don't follow through. They don't do what they got to do. Mm-hmm. The reason we're so successful with lease options is because we understand how to build a credit score. All right. Mm-hmm. To get somebody to a 620, 630 credit, man, that's easy, y'all. Like that can be done in 6 months or less.
Mm-hmm. Unless
you got a whole lot of
or unless they're missing payments and then you're constantly trying to refix it. But most of the time they're trying to do better. All right. Yeah. So just like you're trying to do better, they're trying to do better. And we use these exact techniques to help our clients, to help our students be able to get over that obstacle, get over that barrier so that they can have a better score.
The hardest thing when it comes to building is if you got like a 670, 660 credit score who's trying to get you to 700, it'd be tough to get to that 700, all right? Because it's all them factors got to be into play. But if you're at 550, 560, 620 is easy. As crazy as it sounds.
No, I'm laughing because it made me think of objects are closer than they are.
Farther than they appear. So understand, like, reason we're so successful in the lease option is because we can get our people to the closing table a whole lot quicker than most people.
Absolutely. All right. So high utilization, close to the limits. All right. So if it's a high utilization and you're close to the limits and it's more than you can physically save.
How much are these limits? Are these like $10,000, $20,000 limits or $3,000, $5,000 limits?
Okay. All right. And so if it's a lot, I would not say that that's your solution.
You
I
got to
wouldn't say
read
that's
it.
your solution. It says, I know the solution though, to pay them down. So not necessarily.
That's not your only solution.
Yeah, not necessarily.
And I guess let me give an example for Kate. Let's say that you have 2 credit cards and both of them are $10,000 limits, and you're using $8,000 on each card. So that's $16,000 utilization on a $20,000 limit. All right.
Mhm.
It's easy to go and get a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 trade line in that situation
Mhm.
to lower your utilization. So in this example that I just gave, all right, and I know you got some examples, babe, but I want to do this just to make it make sense.
No, that's fine.
All right. So we got 2 $10,000 cards. We're using $16,000. If I add a $50,000 trade line, whether it's one trade line or a couple trade lines, that means my total utilization goes to 70%, and I'm only using 16%. So that will put me right at about 20, 21, 22% utilization. That'll make a drastic change. All right. But understand, let's say that I got 2 $50,000 credit cards and I'm using 40,000 on each one. There aren't enough big trade lines like that to help you in that situation.
Mhm.
So in that situation, what we'll do is we'll do a couple of different things. One thing that we could do is we can go get a personal loan and pay off the credit card utilization. That will drastically lower your utilization and increase your score. All right. So I wouldn't recommend trade lines or even trying to pay that stuff off. I would recommend you going to get a personal loan in that situation to pay off the credit card. All right. So just paying it down ain't necessarily the best route. There could be other routes to take to help you in economical routes to help you a whole lot better.
That could speed up the process because saving 16 to 20,000 because of where your utilization is may take you a year to do.
Yeah. When you
versus
get a
spending
$50,000 trade line,
$500 or $1,000 for a trade line, now you're looking at things moving.
Now you just went from 80, 90% utilization to 20% just by spending a couple of dollars.
Yeah. And I know, Antonio, we said credit boosters. Credit boosters and trade lines are simultaneously, all right?
Yes.
Trade lines is a type of credit booster.
Good job, where are you dropping it?
Let me say that. All right. So if you have no credit, all right, you have absolutely no credit. I don't have any accounts on my credit report. I got a 0 score. Go.
This is ideal for people who have kids. All right. Mm-hmm. If you have a child and that child is, for me, 13 and up, I'm going to start looking into building their credit. All right. This is the exact formula that I would use to build up my child's credit. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So what you need is you need 3 primary accounts. All right. That is saying that they are the primary owner of the account, as well as 3 credit boosters. So those credit boosters could be anything. It could be trade lines. It could be what we like to call rent reporters. And you can look that up, rentreporters.com. It can be any of those things. Experian Boost. All right. Those are different credit boosters that you can use so that you can start having primary accounts. All right. You want to make sure that they've been open for a few years and they have you in total at least 3,000. All right. So whether it's a credit card, first credit card, Experian Boost, rent reporters, you want to make sure you get that mixture in as well if you have absolutely no credit.
Yep.
All right.
And one thing about credit boosters, depending on which one you get, they are temporary fixes. Okay.
Yes. That's a great point, Tanya. No, I
feel like I hit a nerve for you. Go.
Well, I meant to say that earlier.
Go.
They are temporary fixes. All right. And those temporary fixes are made to get you over that hurdle. All right. So ways that we would use it if it's a temporary fix. We want to get our score up to where we need to be to buy that house. All right. To buy that franchise, to buy that real estate,
To buy that car.
to buy that car, to get employed. When you are buying those credit boosters, they're for a trial time. So like
60 to 90 days.
it's usually what it is, unless you set it up where you're going to continuously pay for it. So, what I want you to do is, while you're using it to get to where you need to go, continue to build your credit so that you don't need it. All right.
Build me, apply for some more credit cards
Yeah.
so that you can get some good primary accounts of your own.
Mhm.
Not the trade lines. All right.
Absolutely. All right. Good job, Tamia.
No
Thank you for
problem.
saying that.
I see your eyes light up when I said it.
All right, it's okay. This is kind of like for you. Absolutely. I see you. Absolutely. So listen, if you got high utilization, you want to use the credit boosters that have high limits but low utilization. All right. You don't want to get a credit booster that also has a high utilization because then it counteracts what you need. You want your utilization to go down, so you need that utilization to go down. All right.
I'll say this, and this is on your topic, but off your topic.
Okay.
All right. Sometimes don't get caught up in the utilization or the limit of the car if the limit or utilization isn't your issue. And I'm gonna say this all the way through. If you have a credit problem and somebody got $1,000 credit card that they've had for 10 to 15 years, it's okay to add that $1,000 card. All right. That limit don't affect your utilization because that's not what you need. You need history.
Yeah.
So don't think that you have all cards have to be high limits and they have to have a lot of history.
Right.
You can pick and choose the ones you need based off what you need.
Yeah,
All
you
right?
want to be strategic about it. If you have high utilization and you are getting credit boosters, you want to make sure that nowhere on these active accounts of this booster that you're getting, there's any late or missed payments. All right, because it's gonna roll over to you, and it's not gonna help you. It's gonna hurt you more than it helps. All right.
Only saying is because we've had these same conversations.
We've seen them on our own,
and people have went out and went and got trade lines from cousin or auntie, and it hurt their credit versus help their credit.
Yeah.
And they looking at us like, man, this ain't work. But you went and got auntie credit card who got 3 late payments.
Like,
Even though it's a $20,000 limit, she got 3 late payments. That's just gonna offset what you're trying to do.
absolutely. I had a client. He was getting ready to purchase one of our houses, and he had his mom's credit booster, his mom's trade line on his account, and it started dropping his score. And he was like, I don't know how to tell my mom to take me off. And I'm like, but you got to tell her right now. Like, this is your 30-day window to buy this house. And you need to make this 30-day window. So you got to tell mama, you know what, I don't need this card anymore. Thank you. You helped me enough. Don't tell them how I hurt you. You helped me enough. I don't even need this anymore. Go ahead and take me off. I can go to the bank with you if you need help taking me off. Whatever you need to do, but you got to get that off. So needless to say, he followed the instructions and he purchased the house. But you just can't add any trade line, all right, to your report. You got to make sure it's strategic and it's right because you need it to help you and not hurt you. All right.
I'm gonna hop on this again.
Okay.
Let's say you have $500 cards or $1,000 cards. It will still be a benefit to you to add your kids to those cards, even if they don't have high utilization. As long as you ain't got no late payments, even if you don't have high limit cards, just getting the accounts on there are important.
Absolutely. All right. If you don't have a lot of age, all right, you done did a swipe, and now
A wipe and a swipe.
Yeah, you had credit repair. They cleared everything off your report. Now you don't have age. You don't have nothing for real. All right. If you don't have age and you have a bunch of brand new accounts, then you need to get credit boosters that are over 2 years of that have over 2 years of history. The more the better, but make sure you get some. All right. People ask me this all the time. If I'm doing it for my child, if I'm doing it for my niece or my nephew, I don't want to give them 14 years of history if they're only 12, 14 years old. No one cares, okay? Everyone knows that you added them as an authorized user to your account and that it's the trade line, all right? They're not saying, oh my gosh, you had credit since you was one. They don't care. Or before you were born. They don't care, all right? They know that they are an authorized user and that they're not primary on the account. So add them, build them up while they're young so that they have good credit when they need it. All right.
But that's why it's important once you build them up to go and apply for their own cards. So they can have their own cards also.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell you to give them the card.
It depends.
I didn't
on the child.
It depends on the child.
Yeah.
13, 14, 15. Don't you dare get them that card.
It depends.
I think my 12-year-old can handle it.
I think she can too. And let me say this: I am a product of being a part of a credit booster while I was in college, and I didn't understand that's what was happening to me. And immediately when I graduated from college, I had my grandmother's years of credit, and it did not equal the amount of years I was born. It didn't. But I didn't understand that she was setting me up for it without having the conversation. So the difference is I want you guys to have a conversation about it, all right? I want you to tell them what it is.
Yes.
Tell them how important it is. Tell them what to do with it, because we need to know what to do with it, how to work with it, why we need it, so that we can do it better, all right? So teach them as we teach you, teach them, all right?
All right.
That was me.
Next one. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was me.
All right, if you have late payments, all right, Ash, I got some late payments. What do I do? You need credit boosters that have no missed payments, all right, that have over 2 years of great history. You may need a couple of them depending on how many you have that are late, all right, how many accounts that you have that are late.
I'm going to do my example again so you understand how this works, all right? Let's say you've had one card for 10 months and you got a late payment. All right. So you got a whatever percent payment history out of 10. All right. Mm-hmm. But let's say you add 2 trade lines. And between those 2 trade lines, now they add 100 payments to your credit report. So now out of 100 payments, you got 1 late payment. That's a big difference in your score. So that's why if you have late payments, you can add trade lines. And again, this is even if it doesn't have a big limit, adding that trade line just adds payments to your report, which will increase that 30% section of your payment history. All right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Make sure it's no missed payments. And while you are adding these trade lines, while they are on your credit report, do not miss any payments.
No, I don't do that either.
Okay, don't miss any payments because that's adding sugar to crap, and we can't add sugar to crap. We're trying to redeem ourselves and grow further. All right, so make sure that you're keeping it in good standings. All right. So we talked about if you have late payments. We talked about if you have high utilization. What else did we talk about?
If you don't have any credit.
If you don't have any credit, all right. Those are usually your main things when it comes to building up that credit score. All right.
Sometimes you got to use a combination of these things to get the job done.
Yes. 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 So some of those combinations, you may have to use rent reporters. If you need to report your rent reporters can go back from a history standpoint. I think back from the last 5 years, but show your last 2 years on your credit report. All right. They will contact your landlord and ask your landlord, are you paying on time? All right, that's what rent reporters can do.
If you ain't paid on time, don't do that option.
Don't do that option because it's gonna hurt you. Only do it if you have been paying on time and ask them so that you can put it on your credit report. All right.
So I think in your example, we're gonna talk about how we did a combination.
I don't have that in there, so that's why I'm doing it right now. Next, this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't my talking point.
All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all what we did to get this credit up 148 points. All right. So Kay, this is almost your situation. So this person had high utilization. And when I say high, I mean they was at like 80-90% utilization.
Mm-hmm.
Putting just trade lines on them would not have helped them because they needed big trade lines. All right. So we did two things for this person. All right.
The bigger the trade lines, the more money it costs.
Facts.
Okay.
All right. So
we did two things.
We did two things for this person. All right. And if you don't understand, like y'all tell us so we can say it in a different way. All right.
So break it down.
The first thing we did was we told her to get a personal loan. All right. Let's take this $20,000, $16,000 example. $20,000 was the limit, $16,000 of what she was using. So we said the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go and get a $16,000 personal loan. All right. When we get that personal loan, we're gonna pay off all our credit cards. Mm-hmm. All right. So
ideally, when you do that personal loan and you pay off those credit cards, you're no longer going to have those credit card payments. And sometimes, depending on which loan you get, it can be lower than the combination of all your credit card payments.
Yes. So in this situation, once she got the personal loan, her payments was actually lower than the minimum payment on both of those cards. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's the first thing we did was we're going to get a personal loan to lower her utilization. So it went from 80-90% to zero. All right. But by getting a new loan, she affected her age. So to offset her age, we added a trade line that had history. Mm-hmm. So when we added the trade line that had history, this is the results that we get. Yeah. We get 148 point increase in 30 days. Because we understand the rules to the credit report. Mm-hmm. We understand that getting that new account was going to give her a boost, but it was going to also drop her in a certain area. But by adding the trade line, that new credit didn't affect her because she also had more payment histories on her file.
And let me say this, because I think this is important. We weren't afraid that we were going to get a new inquiry or that we were going to get a
inquiry didn't even matter.
Because we knew what our plan was because we were going to add the trade line. Adding the trade line also allowed us to add a new account without adding an extra inquiry. So when we add those credit boosters don't give you an inquiry, all right? So if you're doing a trade line, if you're doing reporting your rent, if you are doing an installment, a self-lender account, if you are doing those type of accounts, you're not getting the inquiry for it, but you're adding accounts to your profile. All right. What about trade lines for age? What's the cost on those? It really depends on the person that's selling the trade lines, honestly.
I can tell you, generally speaking, the higher the limit, the more it costs. The higher the age, the more it costs. All right. If you get a trade line that got high age and high limit, you're gonna be over $1,000 for that.
You paying.
Just to be honest with you.
And that's just for one account.
That's just for one card. Because people who sell trade lines, they understand the value of trade lines. Mm-hmm. And if you need trade lines, let us know. We got a Rolodex of people. But rule of thumb, the higher the limit on that credit card or that credit booster, or the older that card has been around, you're gonna pay for it. So if you find somebody that got a 20-year trade line or a 30-year trade line, you're gonna pay for it. Mm-hmm. You find somebody that got a $50,000 trade line, you're gonna pay for it. Mm-hmm. All right. So generally speaking, most people don't need both. Most people need one or the other.
Because that 30% is gonna move you either one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Y'all drop any other questions that you have?
That was a good question, though, Miss Parker.
Absolutely.
Miss Parker, how is your credit doing? Because I know you went through business funding. I know you got some new accounts. Remind me exactly what's your credit score right now, and is your credit recovering from the business funding?
If you guys want to talk at all with Antonio and myself, and you want to book a consultation and kind of talk it through and see where you are, so that we can help get you to where you need to be, we'll be happy to hop on the call with you guys. Just put me in the chat, and what we'll do is, I don't have the link readily available, but put me in the chat, and Antonio and I will drop one of us will drop the link so you can book a call.
And we do that for free, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll give you a breakdown of your credit report and tell you what you need for free. Like, we don't charge for that part of it. We'll do it for free. And one of the reasons we do it for free is because we want you old heads to understand credit, so we can teach the kids credit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, us older people, we done messed our credit up to where we can't even take advantage or teach the younger generation how to manage this credit, how to maneuver this credit.
Because we were never taught.
Yes.
So because we were never taught, we're not going to do the same thing for the next generation that we learned. We're going to be better. We're going to be 1% better to them than we were given. All right. Not saying that we all weren't taught, because when Antonio and I, when we talk about, how we grew up and what credit meant in our lives, it meant two totally different things to us. But we both felt like we should have known more than what we knew when we were growing up.
In my house, credit was the devil. You don't apply for it. You don't go to it. You don't look at it. Like, I was so naive with credit, and this is embarrassing to say this, but I don't mind embarrassing myself sometimes. I went to college in Alabama, and I lived I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I used to drive home. Man, one time I needed some tires. So I go to Goodyear and I get some tires. And did I have the money to buy the tires? Absolutely. Yeah. I had the money to buy the tires. But did I use my money?
You had the money, you just didn't buy it.
Did I use my money to buy them tires? No. They offered me a credit card.
And as a college student,
$500-$600. Y'all, them people gave me that credit card for them tires. Y'all, I ain't made one damn payment.
Right.
I didn't even know I had to pay them people, man.
He didn't even know how to pay them.
I was just so naive to it that I didn't even know. I thought it was more like a student loan where it's deferred payments and I pay it when I get out of college. I don't know what I thought. Y'all, but I didn't make one payment to them people on this damn car. Not one.
So he gets out of school and he's trying to buy him a new car. And he's like, oh, I don't have any credit. Like, I've never had credit. I don't have any credit. They say, oh, wait a minute now. You got a direct. What you mean? Oh, yeah.
I do remember going to Goodyear.
I did have that.
Why they on my report, though? They should be on my.
Yes,
did you make a payment, son? No, I got to pay them. So understand, we got to have these conversations.
We have to have these conversations. I have a near friend. I see Parker say 800 on 2, and the other one is in the high 7s.
Yep.
Let's go. I had a conversation with a family member, and he had just graduated college, and he didn't know that, after you graduate college, you should start paying. And he was ready to get him an apartment, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to move into my own apartment." And he goes and pull that credit and realize, I have not started paying back these student loans, and life is real. Immediately, when I tell you them student loans, if you got multiple, they're either going to help you in a great way or hurt you in a great way. That's exactly what happened. All right. So teach your kids, talk to your kids, talk to your nieces, your nephews, talk to yourself sometimes. All right. And let's get it to where it needs to be.
All right. Well, man, we're going to get out of here. If you need a free credit breakdown, just put me in the chat, man. We'll send you the link. I see K Young already said me. I'll make sure that I send you that information so we can hop on the call together.
All right, love y'all. See y'all next time.
Hold up, don't go nowhere.
Don't go anywhere if you are in the Birmingham area.
Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
Tomorrow night we will be at the City Club Birmingham. That is 19016 6th Avenue North, Suite 3100. Come see a view of the city. Come learn. We're going to be talking about the state of the market when it comes to real estate investing. All right. The state of the market. We're going to talk about where are we. These are a few of our friends that are some heavy hitters. We got Matthew Gregory that's going to be in the place. Matthew does usually about 30 flips at a time. So nothing less than 100 a year. We got Tiffany Samuel. She is the flipping female, and she's going to be talking about her experiences. What is she seeing in the market? She also does a amazing job when it comes to Airbnbs. We got Clarence Graham is going to be telling us from a realtor standpoint, what is he seeing?
And a multifamily standpoint.
And a multifamily standpoint. He's a multifamily investor. What is he seeing? What is he doing right now in this market? And where is he projecting it to go? And then we got Gabe Long, all right? Gabe Long is with New Western, and he's head of the Birmingham area. Or is that Alabama? He's head of Alabama, yeah. And he's going to be talking about what does wholesaling look like right now. Has it changed? Has it grown? Where are we in this market, and what are they projecting over the next few months? All right, so get in the room. The magic is in the room, y'all. All right, get in the room. The magic is in the room. I can't wait to see y'all there. It's gonna be a fun night.
Let's go.
It's gonna be a fun
I know
night.
Parker coming. I think Tamika, you coming. John, you coming.
Let's go, y'all. I can't wait to see y'all.
Make sure y'all get there on time too.
Let's go.
It's
It's
still
free.
been a nice
It's
ride.
a free event. Parking is free, but you must do it at the deck or street parking. All right. Love
Now
y'all.
you can say peace.
Love y'all. Peace.